गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। आज हमारे साथ हैं मेजर जयेश वर्मा शौर्य चक्र, जो एक रिटेल कंपनी के अंदर ऑपरेशंस के सीनियर रहे हैं। He has been an infantarian. He served with the Rajput regiment, and then he got a Shaurya Chakra while in a firefight with terrorists during his Rashtriya Rifle tenure. Am I correct there, Jayesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो इनको वहां पर वॉर इंजरी भी हुई, पैर में गोली भी हुई AK-47 की। और इन्होंने भी वहां पर टेररिस्ट से लड़ाई लड़ते हुए खुद शौर्य चक्र अर्जित किया और अब हमारे सामने है। फौज छोड़ने के बाद जो इन्होंने 10 साल नौकरी करी एज अ शॉर्ट सर्विस कमीशन ऑफिसर, ही सर्व विद a company based out of Bangalore in operations as COO operations, and now he's as his family is in Maharashtra and he belongs to Maharashtra, so he's between jobs and he'll be moving on to another assignment. आज जो है हम बातचीत करेंगे, इनसे ये समझेंगे कि कैसे operations as a functional role is probably the closest to armed forces, especially to the infantry, artillery, mechanized, armored, executive branch of the Navy, and parallel branch of Air Force. So Jayesh, welcome today evening. एक बात और मैं पहले ये बताना चाहूँगा कि Jayesh is also one of the co-founders of Values Network as well. So we have been working on Values Network for last 1.5 years together, self, Jayesh, and Colonel Manish Kochhar. So Jayesh, you are the host and the guest both today in a manner of speaking. So मुझे आप पहले तो ये बताएं कि आपकी ये जो जर्नी रही छोड़ने से पहले, बिफोर क्विटिंग एंड देन मूविंग आउट, हाउ डिड यू मूव इनटू योर प्रेजेंट रोल, जो आपने ऑपरेशंस का जो रोल था उसमें?
So, first of all, thank you very much, sir, for inviting me as a guest over here to speak. Otherwise, I have that privilege of hosting you in so many webinars. So, thank you very much for that. And thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, who joined us today on this edition of Value Talks. So, talking about my journey, sir, immediately after my RR tenure, or let's say during my RR tenure only, which was almost 3 to 4 years before my contractual period of 10 years was finishing. So 3 to 4 years before, I had made up my mind that I will be opting for this option ultimately on completion of my contractual period. So immediately while in service only, I started working towards it. Initially while I was serving in the forces, so there were limitations that you cannot join different kinds of groups on social medias, on telegrams, obviously not on Google groups too. So but I did join one of the group from where I started connecting with people. So the basic or the foundational requirement of transitioning, that is networking, I started doing when I was in Fauzi itself. So yes, that is one major lesson I can say, or major hint or point I want to give it to our audience who are present right now, as well as who will be watching the repeat telecast, that the networking is the foundation of anything. I mean, as far as transition is concerned, yes, it is one of the pillar. So I happened to meet so many seniors, including Vipul sir. I happened to meet with few officers who already retired, to whom I was in contact with. So all of them guided me towards a particular process. That process was to first, you know, most importantly, clear your mind whether you want to stay in Forge or not. So that I was very much clear that yes, I have taken this call and I will, obey by my own decisions. So making firm that yes, you will be leaving, because till the time you are not sure about it, you may not go full-fledged, or what we call it in Forge, all out against that enemy, so to say. So making your mind clear out of any doubts, you have to take a call, you have to sit down, you have to write down the pros and cons of being in Forge and going out searching for jobs and all. You have to rationally think about it, take a wise call. Once your call is in this direction, okay, after these many years, or let's say 2, 3, 5 years, I'll be leaving, this is the good time for you to start. So that is how I did, sir. Immediately on realization that yes, I would be not continuing further after 10 years for whatever reasons. So I immediately started doing the things bit by bit, in which most important phase you can say I passed by making my mind clear about leaving. Second and third and fourth step, I kept going as and when the time allowed me.
ओके, सो आपने सबसे पहला कदम, अगर हम ये कहें, आपने जो लिया वो था कि आपने अपना नेटवर्क फौज के
बिल्कुल
बाहर बढ़ाना शुरू किया।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, फौज में रहते हुए जो वहाँ के जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जो कॉन्टैक्ट्स है, रेजिमेंटल ऑफिसर्स बोल लो, ग्रुप के ऑफिसर्स बोल लो, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट ऑल्सो यू हैव सो मेनी कॉन्टैक्ट्स, सो मेनी ऑफिसर्स यू कीप मीटिंग. So I kept noting them, I kept in touch with them, I kept in contact with them, messaging normal messages, sometimes greetings, sometimes connecting with them on different platforms. So yes, you have to do this exercise.
ओके, इसी से रिलेटेड मेरा अगला सवाल ये है कि जब कॉर्पोरेट एक फौजी ऑफिसर को, खासकर जो आर्म्स मैंने पहले बताए, इन्फेंट्री और उससे इक्वलेंट, जब उन आर्म्स के ऑफिसर्स को हायर करते हैं तो वो क्या क्वालिटीज टिपिकली देखते हैं कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉयज, वो स्किल या क्वालिटीज जो उनको काम आएंगी ऑपरेशंस के रोल में?
जी सर, उसका बहुत ही सिंपल सा जवाब ये है कि वो वही क्वालिटीज उनमें देखते हैं जो क्वालिटीज हम अपने सबॉर्डिनेट्स को हायर करते समय देखते हैं. तो जनरली फौजियों को लेके एक धारणा जरूर है जो कि हमें अपने सबॉर्डिनेट्स में नहीं मिलती, क्योंकि एक ऑफिसर जैसे लाइक आई एम अ वीपी ऑफ द कंपनी, so I do not have any VP or AVP under me who is officer, so everybody is a civilian. So the biggest plus point as far as officers of Indian Army are concerned in corporate, they believe and they trust on you, they trust on your words, because it is seldom you will not find in the society or in the corporate that people are saying something and doing it. People generally keep a track of not doing it despite of they said that. So जो जुबान की जो कीमत है, जो फौजी जानता है, ये कॉर्पोरेट को पता है कि ये जो जुबान दे देगा, इफ इधर ही विल से कि नहीं ये नहीं हो सकता, he will be straightforward enough, or else if he thinks that yes it is achievable, it is doable, then only he will go ahead and tell or give the word, so to say, कि नहीं ये हो जाएगा and I will be able to do it, and then they do anything and everything to achieve that. So जो चेटवुड क्रेडो है सर फौज में, I mean I'm sure most of our audience would be serving right now, but just to give them one example, that till the time you're ready to replace country with company in Chetwood Credo, till that time I can assure you that you're not ready to live. What I mean to say by that is you should be devotional towards your company, as in uniform you are towards your country, but once you go out you have to follow the same Chetwood Credo. Although nobody will teach you there, but if you follow those ethos, there is no looking back.
तो जोश बरकरार है जयेश आपका अभी भी? मेरे को अब ये बताएं, क्योंकि आपने बात बहुत ही जोशीली बात कही और हमारे साथ में भी 90+ लोग जुड़े हुए हैं. चेटवुड क्रेडो implies that it's kind of वो जो एक निशानी है हम सब लोगों की. आप जब ये ट्रांजिशन कर रहे थे, what difficulties did you face in particular and how did you overcome them? If you can list them and tell me exactly कि ये challenges आए और इसको मैंने ऐसे हुआ.
जी 2 से 3 challenges तो for sure short थे सर. Being a Fauji, that too being army officer, that too in army too, non-technical arm as non-technical as infantry. So it is evident that educational qualification which I hold is, I mean, otherwise also 10-15 years old degree doesn't hold any value in the current world. You have to be abreast with the help of certification, with the help of, whatever trending in the market. But yes, the biggest, I can say, inferiority complex I had while leaving Forge and before joining civil setup, that whether I'll be able to get a job with this degree, because I am just a BA pass. So subsequently, when I was talking to a lot of veterans, I came to know about the fact that now the degree which I hold is 10 years or 11 years of service, apart from whatever credentials or decorations you want to add. But now my actual credibility is not based on my educational qualification. I'm not saying that it is of no use, but yes, I was very skeptical about it. to overcome, I mean, I did not had any chance, or it's not possible for me to go ahead and do the education all together. But what I did was, I just said sometime back, you just need to get abreast with the current happening, current trends with the help of certification. There are list of certifications which you can do, although not all are required. But obviously, you may want to do few certifications to enhance your or abreast your knowledge, firstly. And secondly, as far as defense officers are concerned, there is a, I mean, it's not too great, but yes, there is a DGR sponsored course, IIMs, different IFT, I mean, all the tier one institutions of the country. So you must, I mean, obviously you do go, but your endeavor should be to get as much knowledge as you can and come on the platform, because you're competing with the civil world. Let's say I'm VP of operations in my company where I handle e-commerce, supply chain, and logistic. So there are people under me who are working in logistic domain last 15, 18 years. So obviously they know more than you. So I'm not telling you to compete with them as far as their knowledge is concerned. Experiential knowledge you cannot gain just out of your whims and fancy. But yes, you have to be abreast with some tools based on which the particular domain functions. And that is all you need to learn.
तो आपने यहाँ दो बातें कही, उन्हीं दोनों को उठाता हूँ पहले। सबसे
जी।
पहले तो आपने बोला सर्टिफिकेशंस, तो थोड़ा ये बता दीजिए जो ऑपरेशंस के जॉब्स या अपॉर्चुनिटीज देख रहे हैं उन्हें क्या सर्टिफिकेशंस करने चाहिए। दूसरा, मुझे समझ आया, हो सकता है मैं गलत भी होऊंगा, ये डीजीआर कोर्स जो है ये हेल्पफुल है ऑफिसर्स को ट्रांजिशन।
वेल सर, दोनों सवालों के जवाब कंट्रोवर्शियल है, बट मैं दूंगा आपको। सबसे पहले बात करते ऑपरेशंस की, बात करते सर, सर्टिफिकेशंस पे तो हम बाद में आएंगे। सबसे पहले तो मैं अगर किसी से पूछूं यहाँ हमारी ऑडियंस में कि ऑपरेशन से वो क्या समझते हैं, आप मेरे कई कोर्समेट्स है जो मेरे साथ रिटायर हुए थे, जो मेरे बाद रिटायर हुए, जो आज भी एक्सटेंशन के दौरान बीच बीच में छोड़ रहे हैं। तो उन लोगों के जब मुझे कॉल आते हैं और वो मुझे पूछते हैं कि मैंने क्या करना चाहिए, तो मैं उनसे यही पूछता हूँ कि आपने क्या करना है, ये आपकी कॉलिंग पे डिपेंड है। तो कुछ दोस्तों ने, जैसे मेरे कोर्समेट्स ने मुझे कहा कि मुझे ऑपरेशंस में जाना है, तो मैंने उनसे फिर यही पूछा कि ऑपरेशन से तुम्हारा मतलब क्या है, व्हाट इज ऑपरेशंस। एचआर का जो फंक्शन है, एक एचआर का जो रोल है किसी कंपनी में, एक एचआर की एक टीम है जो कि एक पर्टिकुलर काम या एक टास्क कर रही है, तो वो एचआर ऑपरेशन हो। लॉजिस्टिक का जो काम है उसी कंपनी में एक टीम है, एक सेटअप है, एक पॉलिसी है, एक प्रोसीजर है, उसका एक ऑपरेशन है, तो वो लॉजिस्टिक ऑपरेशन हो गया। सिमिलरली वेयर हाउस के अंदर एक अलग ऑपरेशन है, तो वो वेयर हाउस ऑपरेशन हो गया। सप्लाई चेन ऑपरेशन हो गए, उसमें भी काफी छोटे 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 विभाग है, इनबाउंड्स हो गए, आउटबाउंड्स हो गए। तो ऑपरेशन इज अ वेरी जनरलाइज्ड टर्म। नाउ if you ask me what are the certifications for operations, so operation माचिस की तीली बनाने से लेके एयरक्राफ्ट बनाने तक का है। अब माचिस की तीली की एसओपी या सर्टिफिकेशन और एयरक्राफ्ट का सर्टिफिकेशन ऑब्वियसली अलग होगा। इसीलिए whenever anybody is thinking or deciding on to domain, let's say operations, so he or she has to be very specific about which operation they are talking about. Are they talking about a procurement operation, which is a part of CSCP, supply chain? That is also an operation. Are they talking about sourcing part? Are they talking about sales part? Sales operation hai, sare hi operations hai. So you have to be very specific about the kind of operation, and then based on that you can do certification.
वो कौन से होंगे वो सर्टिफिकेशंस, अगर आप दो चार बता पाए।
सर, सारे जो 6 सिग्मास है, दे आर ऑल टुवर्ड्स ऑपरेशन, दे आर ऑल टुवर्ड्स ऑप्टिमाइजिंग द ऑपरेशन। सो 6 सिग्मास के आप चारों पांचों नाम ले लीजिए, ग्रीन बेल्ट, ब्लैक बेल्ट। उसके बाद में आपके जो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट के हैं कुछ, वो भी आपके ऑपरेशन, जैसे आई एम पीएमपी क्वालिफाइड, सो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट का पीएमपी सर्टिफिकेशन भी मुझे हेल्पफुल है ऑपरेशंस के लिए। Now, just to explain to our viewers, what is the difference between an operation? See, even if it is a project, let's say we need to build a dam somewhere, so that is a complete operations. But as it is a prototype, so to say, as it is a first copy or the first thing which we will be making, therefore it becomes project. Now, if I need to give you another example, nano car, when the first prototype was created, till the time it was project. But the moment the prototype was sanctioned, cleared, and it went on to assembly, it became operation. So project is the first execution of operation. And that is how PMP helps you in operation, because it is ultimately the same project, which is, I mean, once the project is established, then you only do a quality check. So that is only a factor which helps as far as project management is concerned. But yes, project management or PMP or ITIL, if you are in technical field, it also helps towards your operational knowledge. Talking about your second question, sir. Sorry, sir, I missed your second question.
DGR course.
Well, sir, honestly speaking, I would be more happy if government, subsequently MOD or DGR, changes this course into at least executive MBA, 1 year executive MBA, residential course preferably. If that happens, I will be very happy. As of now, the structure, the syllabus, the kind of knowledge you can get in the course, the said course, DGR 6 months course, is very limited. There is a very limited scope for you to think. It's just like YOs or JC, I must say, in Fauzi parlance, where you have to be upfront whatever is being taught to you. There is no learning value, so to say. But for Fauzis who are going out, it has an immense value, because at least it shows you trailers, what exactly you're going to do outside. Maybe not, it will not make you experts, but yes, it will give you some sense of ideas. At least you will hear different terminologies and jargons. At least you will come to know about some formulas. So yes, it is helpful, but not as, I mean, as much even we expect, honestly speaking.
Okay. So क्योंकि हम इन्फेंट्री वाले हैं, मैं भी आप भी, सीधी बात करने में यकीन रखें, करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, फिलहाल तो यही है ना, एक साल
सर
तो होगा
ऑप्शन तो है ही नहीं ना सर, ऑप्शन नहीं है। देखिए फौज छोड़ने वालों के लिए वही कोर्स करवाया जा रहा है। सो करना तब फायदे में है जब, फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर एन एसएस ऑफिसर, इवन इफ यू आर पीएमआर ऑफिसर, so do it in the last year of your service. Do it while you're serving. Do not do it, preferably do not do it once you're out. Because what happens, not only that you lose on to the salary part if you join any company immediately after leaving for 6 months, but also you need to take care of your expenses, which is over and above. So सर्विस में रहते हुए करना है सर ये. It has to be done while in service when you are getting the salary.
Okay. That may not be applicable to some officers from Navy or Air Force because उनके थोड़ा सा नियम फर्क है.
I
Coming
understand.
on to my next question. आपने जो फौज में काम किया as an infantry officer and since you left after 10 years of service, so I am assuming that most of your work was non-staff work. You are mostly either as a
With the companies,
company
yes.
command or company commander. राष्ट्रीय राइफल में भी आप गए तो वहाँ भी आप company commander. But the majority of your work was on ground, frontline officer, leading your men, leading your troops, etc. जब इसको अगर हम पैरेलल करते हैं in terms of the corporate operations, कितनी समानताएं हैं? What are the similarities between the operations of Fauj and the operations of corporate?
So similarities तो वैसे देखा जाए तो वैसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, लेकिन सिमिलैरिटी इन वन सेंस वी कैन से, इफ यू टेक, जो फौज में जो काम करवाया जा रहा है आपसे, चाहे फील्ड में हो या पीस में हो, चाहे कोई कंपटीशन हो या कोई ट्रेनिंग हो, सो इट इज ऑलवेज मिशन ओरिएंटेड. सो वी हैव ऑलवेज बीन गिवन के इरादा क्या है. सो वी आर ऑलवेज मिशन ओरिएंटेड. लेट इट बी बड़ा खाना क्यों ना हो यूनिट में, अगर वो यूनिट में बड़ा खाना भी करवाया जाता है तो उसकी भी तैयारी, उसकी भी प्रिपरेशन बोलो या उसकी भी प्लानिंग जो है वो उसी तरह से की जाती है जैसे कि कोई एक ऑपरेशन किया जाता है. That is as far as Fauj is concerned. Now, when you come to civil parlance, if you are a Fauji, you can very well utilize that skill of yours, in which it actually helps you. It helps you noting down the finer integrities or nitty-gritties of the mission. Plus, it helps you in planning. The biggest difference, I must say, which you will encounter in any mission, so to say, vis-a-vis army, is the manpower, is the quality of manpower, is the willingness of manpower. So over here, you will find it more difficult to, I mean, I'm talking about civil. You will find it more difficult to get the work done. People sometimes, most of the times, you will find that people are doing their work, but nobody is reporting that. So again, if it is not reported, it means it's not done. So there are both kind of people, those who will not do a work and those who will do a work, but then they will be like completely silent. They will not report it. So the major difference is of manpower. If you, let's say, if you give me a company of Fauzis in a civil company, so I will be able to do, fantastic, because the manpower over there, their willingness to accept the orders without questioning and to carry out the task as explained is very high vis-a-vis civil. So yes, there is a stark difference in that. But yes, as a Fauji, it does help you how you pen down the nitty-gritties, how you plan it, and how you actually act, because you are doing it in Fauj day and night. So it does help.
ओके, मैं आपसे इसमें ये पूछना चाहूंगा, एज अ फौजी जब आप अपना रिज्यूमे बना रहे हैं तो उसमें आप कैसे हाईलाइट करेंगे ऑपरेशंस रिलेटेड वर्क को, अगर आप ऑपरेशंस का रोल टारगेट कर रहे हैं बाहर?
वेल सर, ये तो काफी स्पेसिफिक सवाल है. एक्चुअली इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट ऑल यू हैव डन ड्यूरिंग योर फौजी टेन्योर. सो whatever you have done, for example, let's say I'll give you my example. So why I have done project management, because there were so many projects which I have done in Forge. Now, what kind of projects? So we were in Chushul sector. Over there, we were tasked to, create bunkers. And although I was not whole and sole responsible, but then there you have to do it. So that project, a particular project, I have mentioned in my resume as a project which I have carried out on the ground. So I knew the costings, I knew what kind of workforce was required. We were planning that, taking all things into consideration, the weather, the distances, and everything, including the Adam. So yes, it's a full-fledged project which you can very well mention in your resume as a project completed. Apart from that, you do, let's say, if you are in a small arms firing competition. So small arms firing competition, it is a project. There is a particular aim, there is a particular process for which there is a particular kind of training and management has to be done. So if you have done that, you can mention that in your resume as a project. Apart from that, I was responsible for so many times schools, ECHSs, VIP visits. So all these are small projects. If you can calculate the monetary aspect of it, for example, while in RR, I was a convoy commander. Now that was my logistic role. Now, convoy commander has got nothing to do with logistics. But yes, it has to do with logistics because it involves vehicles. It involves their management. It involves their routing. It involves your deliveries, your transit. So yes, you can mention that. Although I was in RR doing a convoy commander for a particular duration, but it was a high risk situation where I was not only transporting men, but material also. So it was all supply. So it was a full-fledged logistic operation that you can include in your resume as your duration. During this duration to this duration, you have carried out so many logistic operations valuing so many crores. It's very easy. You just have to calculate the number of vehicles, the kind of arms and ammunition you're carrying, the kind of ration and manpower you're carrying. If you think, if you sit, note down, and if you evaluate it, somehow you reach to a monetary number. That's so many and so many crores. I was in Siachen where I was doing a quartermaster for a period of time, which entailed a complete supply chain operations. That too via so many routes. It was through air maintained posts, it was through ponies, it was through porters. So that is one hell of a logistic operation. So that such experiences of yours, you need to mention that in the resume along with numbers. There should be no line in the resume without numbers. So this is how you can project your accomplishment in army or
एक चीज
navy.
जो हमने और सुनी है, जिस पे आप थोड़ा सा क्लैरिटी दें, कि ऑपरेशंस के रोल में घड़ी नहीं होती है, 24 घंटे आदमी को, खासकर जो सीनियर ऑपरेशन मैनेजर्स हैं, या यू आर ऑलवेज वर्किंग, इज दैट ट्रू? आई मीन देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस.
Well, I cannot generalize that statement, sir, but it depends company to company, what kind of company you are in, what kind of workload is there, what kind of vision they have, how fast they want to move. So based on so many factor, most importantly, based on the company in which you are working, it may or may not happen. So
Yeah, but
like,
as compared to other support roles, is it more hands on? आपको मतलब काम वर्कलोड ज्यादा रहता है या आपकी क्रिटिकलिटी ज्यादा है?
no, sir. Honestly speaking, even if the workload is more, so you will find that there are different shifts which are working. It may not be possible that one shift who's supposed to work at 8 hours, including breaks 10 hours, they cannot exceed it 10 hours. Anyhow, 1 odd day is fine. But yes, on a higher position, on a leadership roles, generally you are occupied in the evenings also. You are bombarded with the questions for the day, which may have great importance towards the business and all. So yes, you are available. You are supposed to be available.
ओके, तो एक सवाल और मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ कि क्या आप ये भी कहेंगे कि ऑपरेशंस में फॉर ग्रोथ एंड ऑल्सो उसी के साथ में सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर इज बेटर एज कंपेयर टू support functions?
Obviously, sir. Yes, both the things are there because it is so much demanding. And see, understand this: operation in any company or institution is actually the spine of the company. So you want good people there, you want results over there because operation for any company is the survival. So obviously, if you do good, you're noticed very fast, and obviously your chances for getting promoted are higher. And if you are a good resource, companies would not want to let you go.
ओके, मान लीजिए मैं आपसे एक सवाल को दूसरे तरह से पूछता हूँ. मैं एक इन्फेंट्री ऑफिसर हूँ. मैंने
Yes.
10 साल, 20 साल या 30 साल जो भी एक काम करके बाहर आया, और आज मेरे पास दो जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज है. एक जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी है विच इज इन अ सपोर्ट फंक्शन, से इट इज इन HR, और इट इज इन बिजनेस सपोर्ट, एडमिन फैसिलिटीज, or it is in security. I mean, it's a support function, not the core business function. दूसरा मुझे मिल रही है ऑपरेशंस की जॉब, जहाँ मुझे पता है कि मुझ पे वर्क प्रेशर भी ज़्यादा रहेगा, बट आई एम समवन हु इज विलिंग टू कमिट, हु इज विलिंग टू मे बी स्लॉग एक्स्ट्रा, और मेरा एम्बिशन भी है कि मुझे आगे बढ़ना है, मुझे पोजीशंस भी ज़्यादा चाहिए, या मुझे हायरार्की में ग्रो करना है, और मुझे पैसा भी ज़्यादा कमाना है. So do you think operation should be the choice I make if I'm, or do you think I
Yes,
should go for HR?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously, if I can compare it with armed forces, so as far as army is concerned, or even air force, so the flying officers who are actually flying the aircrafts and infantry officers are actually doing the operations as far as forge or defense forces is concerned. So yes, it is very lucrative. It is well paid. Obviously, there is a headache because you are at a responsible position doing a responsible task, but it is at the same time rewarding also. And most importantly, you will have self satisfaction as far as your job is concerned if you are able to do that, if you are able to achieve your targets. So yes, if you can do it, nothing like operations. But as they say in army that there is no bad arm, all arms are good. Similarly, all roles are also good, sir. But yes, your point is right. There are promotions, there are rewards for operations.
Roles to सभी, मतलब I completely agree. All arms are good, all roles are good. वो तो
So,
मतलब
as you said, if you are ready to slog, if you have that passion, if you are willing to go extra mile, then people like you must join operations only. Must join operations only.
मतलब पॉइंट वाज कि देखिए वैसे तो वो सनी देओल का डायलॉग है ना कि हम ही हमें तो क्या हम हैं, तुम ही तुम हो तो क्या तुम हो, मतलब आई एग्री
जी
टू दैट। बट
जी
फर्स्ट अमंग्स इक्वल्स, मतलब जहाँ सब बराबर है उसमें भी अगर जिम्मेवारी किस पर ज्यादा है, कौन ज्यादा स्लॉग करेगा, किसके नहीं होने से ज्यादा फर्क पड़ता है. So if given that, would you say that, people who are there in operations have a higher probability of rising up the corporate echelons and
absolutely, absolutely, sir. Yes, absolutely. It is there because the complete fortune or future of the company depends on the operations. So if you are able to sustain the operation for the company, if you are able to generate profits, obviously you will be looked after by the company. And yes, you, I mean to say, anybody in the operations has got more chances of doing that vis-a-vis Adam or security.
मेरे सवाल तो जयेश हो चुके हैं.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head